Jamaica, the land of pristine beaches, warm, welcoming people, perfectly roasted and brewed Blue Mountain coffee, coconuts, Mystic Mountain, Dunn's River Falls, just to name a few attractions. Throughout my travels, I find nothing really lets you connect with people locally more than sharing their food. Food is the common language of society, and Jamaica is nothing short of some of the best foods I have ever tasted. So if you can't travel to Jamaica today, you can still eat like a Jamaican. This beloved dish is probably what visitors seek out the most in restaurants like Scotchies. Named after the local, flavorful hot chili of choice, Scotch bonnet peppers, which is a staple ingredient in many local recipes, including this one, Jamaican Jerk Chicken. I can't wait to share this awesome recipe with you guys. So this is the final dish, what it's gonna look like when it's all said and done with some side dishes. So let's go make this recipe happen. Okay, so let's go over the ingredients. You'll need some chicken, of course, and some store-bought jerk sauce, which is absolutely delicious. No. If we're gonna go authentic, let's go authentic. Now for the jerk, I like to begin with a dry rub first. I'll take some sea salt, some smoked paprika, some nutmeg, cinnamon, allspice, some black peppers and some dried thyme, and kind of combine them together to make this awesome, delicious dry rub. So next we'll take our dry rub and apply it to our chicken thighs. I like to put a fairly generous portion on it, and then use my hands to kind of mix it until it's all evenly distributed. I also like to squeeze a half a lime on the chicken. The Jamaicans call this washing your chicken with lime juice. Next we'll prepare our wet ingredients for the jerk sauce. It's quite an extensive list of ingredients, and the proportions of what you need are in the description below. But it is all essential, and it is all part of the authentic recipe. So let's combine all these together using a blender and make this delicious jerk sauce. I like to pre-cut my onions a little bit to make it easier in the blender, as well as the scallions. And I'll talk a little bit about these scotch bonnet peppers, which are insanely hot. And if you don't want the heat from them, you can just remove the seeds with the yellow lining. It removes most of the heat and still adds the essential flavor to jerk sauce, which is scotch bonnet peppers. They're very flavorful and delicious peppers. So we'll add all the ingredients into our blender and give it a nice blend until they're very nice and smooth. Because the recipe calls for a healthy amount of vinegar as well as salt, sea salt, this will last in your fridge for quite a few months. Of course, you're not going to use the whole amount for the chicken. This is quite a bit of sauce here, probably enough for 4 more barbecues. So yeah, this should be enough for 4 or 5 portions of chickens for the family of 3 or 4. I always like to try what I'm making, so I took a piece of this, not realizing there's a huge chunk of scotch bonnet pepper, and kind of burnt myself with it. So be careful if you do this. Have some cold milk standby to get rid of the burn from these insanely hot peppers. And I'll transfer the jerk sauce into my refrigeration container, and then I'll apply it to the chicken. So let's do that. Again, a healthy amount, probably 5, 6, 7 tablespoons worth onto the amount of chicken that I'm using here, using your hands to combine it all until they're evenly coated. And then cover it and throw it in the fridge, where you'll leave it for at least 3 to 4 hours, preferably overnight, and we'll barbecue this tomorrow. Next, we'll prepare our coleslaw. So I'll take a half a head of cabbage and kind of julienne it, and then slice it up a little bit finer, put it into a bowl, and cut up with it a couple of scallions, green onions as well, kind of fine chop it, throw it all in there. and grate up some carrots. At first I used the fine grade, and then I used the larger grade just for an artistic touch, I guess. I don't know. And I'll add the spices. As I said before, the ingredients list is below in the description here. So this is so easy to make, and use some Dijon mustard. Mix it all up, cover it up, and leave it in the fridge as well overnight. And this will be a very delightful side dish for the jerk chicken tomorrow.
So traditionally in Jamaica, you would have logs of pimento wood that's on top of smoldering wood chips to avoid any flames hitting the chicken. We don't have that luxury, unfortunately, here in Vancouver. I do happen to have, and I'll show you what it is. I do happen to have some of these pimento wood chips imported from Jamaica, which I've been soaking. So I'm going to get that prepared while the barbecue is heating up, and I'll show you the next steps. It is super easy, and this is going to come out tasting absolutely amazing. All right, I've soaked a whole bunch of this pimento wood in my little smoker here. So I'm just going to place this on the back of the grill to let it slowly release as I'm going to be cooking up the chicken. And I actually ended up adding a few more pieces of chicken, actually 2 more whole chickens to the sauce, because I've had plenty from that one batch that I made. I did make a separate one for somebody in my family who does not eat spice, so I'm going to cook that separately. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the chicken on the grill. And I'm going to do it skin down first, and add the other pieces actually to the top grill, because these are thinner pieces. They won't need that much or that long of a time to fully cook. And I'm placing them, as I said, skin down first. I've had the barbecue heating up for about a good 15 to 20 minutes. That's actually all you need, really. And that's it. And I have quite a bit of sauce left at the bottom of my dish here that I can baste this a little bit later on with. And I'm going to take the one that's not spicy, and I'm also going to be positioning this one on the grill. Just got to remember which one's which. Here we go. There we have it. The important thing is to cook this at the lowest possible setting on your barbecue. You don't want to have it burn too quickly. So that's it. Let's get this cooked up. It should take, for the individual small pieces, probably about 25 minutes. For the bigger pieces, a good 40 minutes roughly to cook. I'm going to cook it covered halfway. I'm also going to cook it uncovered partially, and I'm going to show you a trick how to get that nice reddish color into the meat that they do in Jamaica. In Jamaica, they would put these big pieces of construction zinc boards on top of the meat to kind of allow the moisture to stay in. I'm going to try to mimic that a little bit with aluminum foil. So anyways, let's see how this turns out. I'm sure it'll be wonderful. So it's been about 5 minutes since I started grilling the chicken. I'm just going to go have a quick look on them. I actually ended up having to reposition the chickens and the wood chips here, because I find that this barbecue doesn't really get cool enough, I should say. It always gets a little too hot and starts scorching the skin of the chicken. So I just turned the side ones down and just used the middle one to heat the whole inside of it. And hopefully in the next few minutes here, the wood chips are going to start smoking. And when that happens, we don't touch it for a good 25 minutes. Let the smoking do its magic. If you have a smoker, you can naturally do it in a smoker. Some nice cherry wood would probably go well with the chicken. If you don't have any pimento wood, you can always use a handful of pimento berries, or if you can get your hands on some pimento leaves to throw in with the wood chips to have that pimento-ish smoky flavor added. It's definitely an option. So let's give it a good 25 minutes and check back on it. So I'm gonna try flipping these. They look like they're just about ready to be flipped. So let's give these a nice little, oh yeah, nice little turn around here. This one is breaking apart on me. Okay, there we go. Looking really good. Just gonna flip these as well. Okay. Just gonna add back a little bit more of this wonderful jerk sauce right into the chicken, trying to get every little nook and cranny. And splashing some on my sweater. It's always a bonus when you can do that. Yeah, there you go. Make sure you get some on the ends of the legs as well. There you go. Now for the spicy ones, I'll try to get some on there as well still. There we go. This is looking real good, you guys. Alright. Once again, into every little nook and cranny. There we go. Nicely coated chicken. Okay, so let's cover this back up. Allow the temperature to come back up to around 350, 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I'm going to turn the heaters back down, or the burners on the extreme burners, left and right, back down to off. And by now the pimento wood chips are doing a very, very nice job of releasing some smoke. So yeah, I'm very happy with this, the way it looks right now. I'm gonna check back in a few minutes and see where we're at. We're about 20 minutes into the barbecue at this point. And we'll do another 20 minutes because I'm guessing the legs that are on the top row there, they're gonna take just about the exact same time as the big pieces, just because they're elevated off the heat. So yeah, let's there you go. We're back to 375, so I can turn off the side burners. Okay, let's check back in about 15 to 20 minutes, see where we're at. So I kind of elevated it using two of these racks, and then used kind of a baker's rack to elevate the chicken up to a little bit higher. So this will allow me to get a nice slow roasting of the chicken in the barbecue. Yet another method to do this is just to grab a piece of aluminum foil, which I have right over here, and kind of cover the chicken up, the chicken pieces, so that it kind of traps in some of the moisture. So let's see here. So this is kind of what it would look like. It would be about, say about 14 or 12 inches above the flame of the barbecue. And this will help capture both the smoke and infuse it into the meat, as well as, you know, allow the chicken to continue cooking without burning too much. All right, I'll come back to you in about another 15 minutes when this whole thing is going to be done. Okay, let's have a quick peek of what this actually looks like. I have a feeling it's going to be quite nice. Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take this off for a minute so I can show you guys a little closer of what this looks like. There we go. It's looking quite lovely. Okay, so we're just about finished here. This still needs a few minutes for the chicken legs. I'm gonna give them one more little flip here, but they do look almost perfect. The big pieces will take a little longer. It has been about 40 minutes since we started this whole process. Let's see if I can get these covered up fairly good. Okay, so I'd say another 5 minutes for the thighs, and probably another 15 minutes for the big pieces. So I'll come back then and we'll plate everything and show you what it looks like. So as for the side, I have prepared some coleslaw, as you've seen from the video earlier, and I'm also going to be serving this up with some traditional Jamaican rice and peas. The rice and peas, I have a recipe for. It's on my channel. If you look up the curry goat recipe, which I'll put a link up for right here for you right now, In that recipe, I'll show you exactly how to make rice and peas. It's super easy, super delicious, and it goes extremely well with this. It is what you would normally find in Jamaica, would be served on the side with jerk chicken. So yeah, let's wait about 5 minutes or so for the thighs to finish cooking. And I see some flaming action happening here, so I'm just going to make sure these things don't get charred. So if you ever see that, just kind of pull them off to the side, away from the flames. And there we have it. Okay, so 5 minutes we'll remove the thighs, and about 15 minutes we'll remove the whole chicken. Okay, so I think it's just about time to remove the chicken thighs. They look absolutely amazing. So I'm just gonna take them off the barbecue right now. Oh yeah, these are fantastic. Done to absolute perfection here. So yeah, this is ready. I'm just gonna wait for the other pieces to be completely done. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna turn the temperature way down, close the barbecue lid, and probably in about 5-10 minutes time I'll do an internal temperature check, and should be ready by then. Okay, so it's all finished. I think I'm gonna do a final temperature check. Once again, it has to be 165 degrees Fahrenheit at the thickest part, so I usually measure right inside the breast piece. And we're 168 and 165. Perfect. So this is ready. Let's remove it from the grill. The one that was not spicy is on the right hand side, so I'll handle that little separately here. Oh yeah. Ooh. And the spicier one, I'll just put it with the other ones that are right over here. Oh yeah, this looks really good. So yeah, let's go inside the house where I'm gonna plate this and show you what it looks like with everything, and I can guarantee you this will taste as authentic as you're gonna be able to get it without actually traveling to Jamaica. So let's give it a shot.
So we're back inside. Let's get these pieces of well done chicken, a nice little fine chop. And this is very satisfying to watch. Also to eat, obviously. This was so delicious, guys. I've just had a meal before doing this voiceover, and I gotta tell you, this was an absolutely delicious recipe. I recommend you try it. So yeah, I like to kind of split up the legs and chop up the chicken breast into more manageable pieces, as kind of they would in Jamaica. They chop it up into smaller pieces, kind of things you can handle with just your fingers. So yeah, it's all ready. Let's get them all chopped up and plate it up. And there you have it, folks. Jamaican jerk chicken. This is awesome. I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, please like below and subscribe to the channel. I do have new recipes coming out frequently, international dishes, all authentic, delicious stuff. Thank you for stopping by today, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye bye for now.